Live. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Sorry for the delay. It was a problem, technical problem here, but we solved it. Everything is working. We have today a very special guest here, a guy. I have the pleasure to meet him. I have the pleasure to talk with him. I have the pleasure to laugh with him. And he's a very special guy from the community. Everybody loves him. I love him. I think today we're going to have a blast with this fantastic rider for our community here in Europe and around the world. Welcome, my friend. Hello, Martyn.
Thank you so much, Nelson. That's far too big an entrance, but
No,
I'll
I'm
take
just
whatever I
telling.
can get. Thank you so much. That was kind of you.
No, I'm just telling the truth, and the truth we have to tell it. First of all, I want to say, my friend, thank you so much for coming here
My
and
pleasure, brother.
enjoying our community. And like always, I contact you one time, and you said, "Nelson, I'm very pleased to come," and that's how community has to work. But my like always, my first question is, how long do you ride, and how do you start? How do you
Oh,
came to this electro fantasy and amazing sport?
okay. It's kind of a long story. How do you start? Well,
You have time,
obviously,
my friend.
when I started skateboarding. I immigrated from Scotland to South Africa
Hmm.
when I was 8 and started to skateboard out there. So that's way, way back. I'm 54 years old, so that's back in the day.
Yeah,
And
close.
I enjoyed skateboard parking out there. My mother would just pick me up and drop me off at the skateboard park at the weekend, and it was great. We had like 3 bowls. You used to have colors on the side of your helmets, so you would have red, green, and amber, and you could go into whichever bowl you wanted, and it was phenomenal. So, as an 8-year-old child moving from Scotland, where it was pouring with rain all the time, into South Africa, your weekends were spent skateboarding. So I was lucky enough to start skateboarding out there 8. So what's that? 1970 odd. So long, long time ago. So
Yeah.
72, 73, I started skating out there and then came back to Scotland a couple of years later, but then didn't skate for years and years and years. So, like everyone else, just left it, went through school. I lived in Scotland, so if you're in Scotland, the Scottish skaters are really hardy, so they have to want to go out and do it. So more power to them. But I am more of a fair weather kind of guy, especially after I'd sort of found out about skateboarding in South Africa. So I think it wasn't till how long would it be after that? It would be after my kids were born and I going through business and doing all those kind of things. And then what happened was I have the godfather to my son's a Spanish guy, a guy called
Hmm.
Anders Solahuren. And I go
Okay.
out to meet him in Bilbao. So there's a big surfing community out there. And
Yes.
when I went out there, I met these guys, and I won't go into the long story about how I met him, but I met him and ended up knowing him. I've known him for 25 years, 30 years now. So when I went out there, he introduced me to surfing. So occasionally I stood on the board, fell over, and was very bad at it. But one board that he had at that point was a board called a Carver.
Hmm.
And the Carver was just a skateboard. And I can't remember what the trucks were like on it, but we used to go down hills and enjoy it. And just, it was fantastic fun. I was much better on that than I was on the surfboard. So
Okay.
I really, really enjoyed it and did it occasionally with him. Then I would go out and visit him now and again. And then eventually a friend of mine, a guy called Frank Byrne, phoned me up and said, "Have you seen this thing online?" Because I'd mentioned to my friend Ander, I said, "See if you put a set of motors on this, this would be phenomenal. I would just love this. So 10 years pass, and I leave him, and I've written the cover book. My friend phones me up and says, "Have you seen this?" No. I says, go online and check this out. And I'll tell you what it was. It was, I think, Andy from Evolve had done work with, it was the people online. I can't remember what it was. The Gadget Show. It was the Gadget Show. So he sent me through this thing in the Gadget Show. I put it online. I watched it. And I was like, oh my God, that is exactly what I want. So that would be, when would that be? Oh, 7. It was the first Gen 1 carbon, right? So I wasn't in early. I found the Gen 1 carbon, and I just phoned them up. So, oh, send me one of them right now. So that's the first time I've got the video of me going up and down this street here on it. And I was like, oh, it was like bliss. I had never experienced something like that before in my life. So I didn't have to push. I was getting kind of old. And somebody had put a motor on this that wasn't the one that we'd all seen before, which was the you know, the one that they put the motor on the mechanical engine. It wasn't one of those. This was an electrical one, and I could do 15 miles. And I thought, Jesus Christ, this is fucking phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. And from that moment on, I was running a business at the time, and I just stopped using my car. And I started traveling around Glasgow on this thing, but no helmet, no pads, no nothing at all. Just fuck it, I'm off. I'm having a go on this. So I was actually doing business on this thing, and I just fell in love with it. So 7 years ago would be about that time, and I bought that first one, and then I bought 2 other ones for my kids, who I forced dramatically to try and do this thing
with one motor in this
so
time.
That's about 7 years on the electrics. That's my history behind it.
You are close to the same. I think you have the same time like me. We are close. The same time I started. I started about 7-8 years, and
I think we qualify for almost old farts.
But
almost old farts.
I don't know.
I remember meeting you in Paris. You want to know when you're an old fart is when you meet somebody for the first time and somebody says to you, "Look, I've got gout. Can anybody help me with that?" And I went, "Oh, I've got tablets for gout. We must be the old farts." And that was fun. That was the first time I met you, actually.
That was fun. That was fantastic. That we want to talk about Paris. Of course, you talk about Andy. Andy is a fantastic guy. I think he's the guy who put the UK in the top of involved in the top, because he's a fantastic person. And I have the pleasure to meet you in Paris, and in this event in Paris, you was together with Samu. Fixing all the boards for everybody to have fun, and
Pierre was there as well. Pierre Vidou was there. Samuel and Pierre. I was working with them. I went to meet them in Paris and pick up their stuff and bring it up. So they'd done the ESK8 thing at that time. So I went and met them in Paris and picked them up, got all their stuff. But actually they stayed in my camper van.
Yeah, your camper van was direct by the door of the event.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
You always telling you want to drink something, you want to eat something. I have everything here in my car.
Would you like one of these? Oh, yeah, okay, no problem.
Everything was perfect. Yeah. My friend, with all these years you have riding, I'm going to start first from Scotland. There is lots of riders in Scotland today.
Yeah, there's
electro riders.
If you say lots, no, it's about how many do you go and meet. And I've been fortunate enough to meet a number of people. Ewan was one, and unfortunately, Ewan met me at a time when I was going through a lot of troubles, which is one of the reasons e-boarding has made a massive difference to my life. But he met me right at the beginning. So Ewan's a really good boarder, and he travels round about. There's about, from my knowledge, probably about 20, 20 or 25 there, but
But
I think it was.
active riders or just uh, because it's difficult to find today people that is very active to ride.
Yeah, oh no, I met a big chap. I mean, my board, I had a small problem with the Cali. Pardon me.
Uh-huh.
I had a small problem with the Cali, and what basically happened was I needed to get it fixed because I can't fix these things.
Uh-huh.
And that's Samo there.
Someone is very good in that.
And so I had to send it down to get fixed with the board company. What's his name? Apex. Sorry, my
Okay.
apologies. Apex, and because he's phenomenal, does all the work. So I
Yeah.
sent it down, and at that time, my big friend gave me a loan of his board. I got a loan of an Evolve. And it was funny to go back to that again for a short time. So I've met one, two, three. I've met 7 people up here that board, but I've really travelled to meet people.
Uh-huh.
It was really back when the first Evolve World Cup came about that I found the community as such because I had no idea. Basically, what had happened was I'd found a Gen 1. I'm riding around Scotland. I've met nobody. I don't really go on computers, as you've obviously
Uh-huh.
explained to everybody with technical difficulties earlier, which was me trying to work out how to work the frigging thing out. So thanks for that. But so I wasn't really on Facebook. I wasn't doing anything like that, and I sort of somehow came about finding Oliver Lafranc, and he had decided that the first World Cup for Evolve was going to be in the south of France in Côte d'Abron.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, I think I was going through a divorce. I was going
Uh-huh.
through this, that, and how my life was incredible. And at that point,
Uh-huh.
I went, you know what? I'm off. I'm going to go and do this. I hadn't spoken to anyone about it. So I took 2 boards, I packed them in a car, and I decided that I would enter it. And I entered it within 2 or 3 days before it was going to happen. And I thought, well, this is it. So I'm going through a really tough time in my life. Shit's not going the way I wanted to go. Ex-wives, family, all the rest of it. I went, well, pack up a car and go and skate. So that seemed like a great idea at the time,
That
and it
was
was.
the best idea for you,
It
my
was the
friend.
best. It was the best idea that I'd ever had actually, because that's where I met Pierre. I met
Uh-huh.
Samo, Michael the Swan. Oh,
I'm going to put it here for everybody to see, and we continue to talk because I think that is important for us to see. Because I know there is lots of people there who talk lots of shit, but Involve is one of
oh,
the is one of the only ones who make lots of events for all of us.
no. Well, that's. I mean, I went back to visit this place just after. I mean, when we went to Paris.
Hmm.
So after the Parisian World Cup, I travelled down to meet Oliver again to come down
There
here.
you are, my friend. Nobody
That's
has.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody. I'm just going to put it again for everybody because this person is always there and is very active. Let's put a little more here, then, for everybody to see it. In the right, there is a person there. This is our angel, and is opening for everybody to come. And if you see, that is our Scottle rider. And look at here, look who is looking to you. Jeff is what are you doing? But
That's right.
yeah.
Jeff is brilliant. Jeff has been a phenomenal support to me. He's helped me a lot of times. He's him and Travis and the brand itself. That's a market leader brand, as everyone knows. Everyone knows they've got. It's just a market leading brand. So and it should be the Escape community should be proud to have that because how he
That,
marketed
that's what
it.
that's what I don't understand. You understand, my friend? I sometimes I listen and I'm very disappointing for the people criticizing so much the Involve because the Involve is the only company who make so much events, so much stuff for all of us. If they make money, of course they have to make
That's
money.
me away. That's Joe Dubai. Joe's going there. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe flies, and that's why I think I always say I have Involve in my home. We're going to talk about Involve because you was a rider for Involve. You know a lot from Involve. Today we are you love
They
Kelly.
sponsored me. They support that. They support this community
Hmm.
as well, probably better than any brand that I'm aware of. And I'm not familiar with lots and lots of brands, but I've had interactions with Jeff, and he's just a guy that
I met.
he wants his company to succeed, but he's genuine with his passion for the brand, and he'll support people to go and do things. You can see it when Colorado Caddy. He's just been given a one of his boards, and he's now a person for them. So you can see that they
And you
want.
and you know that Colorado, for the people who don't understand, Colorado eludes lots of support because because of his life. I listen to guys criticizing, why is this guy is supported, and I see lots of companies. One of them, I can tell, I don't have no problem. It was the these guys from Switzerland, Swiss. What's the name?
I don't know who is it.
From David, from the guys who make the jackets. What's the name?
Oh, Lazy Rolling.
Lazy Rulings.
No,
Because
that's Sweden. That's Sweden.
yeah, Sweden, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was before he was ambassador from them, and then the guys who start in internet to put David to the side. Hey, why do you have this guy in your? He's always in internet smoking, and I was like, this guy
It's,
was
it's,
for everybody to understand. Colorado is a guy that is 5 years. He drink kind of alcohol there. He was addicted to alcohol, and he is out. He has a family. He has 2 kids, and he's a great guy. He's a
he's a
fantastic
lovely guy.
writer. And
He's a
if
great guy.
yeah, but I see the big critic from everybody just putting him down. We have to change this mentality. We have to say, guys, if he smokes something, guys, and his life now is better, smoking is not a problem, guys. Smoking is better than a cigarette. Is better than lots of things, and you have to put him to the top, not put him down. He's in
All
a good
all
thing.
you
I
have to
think
do is
Involve.
take a
Huh?
look at the number of days that that man has been alcohol free, right? And then go and try and argue with the man. You can't argue with him at that point. The man's alcohol free now. He does lots of different things, and he's got his own way of doing things, which is fine. But the community, I think, is about accepting everyone. You know what I mean? It's like it's. When I first came, the mental health issues that I was struggling with at that particular point in time, that picture you see up the top right hand side,
Hmm.
oh, my head was in a terrible, terrible space. But with the community and with people and being part of it, I've managed to get better and enjoy it. So I don't care what that man's done, but I thought it was terrible. I can't be bothered with people criticizing him. You know, it's like it's not
The
worthwhile. He's
problem
not
is
doing it
not the
very well.
critique. The problem is not the critique. The problem is they going to the company that they know it was representing him and say you have to put him out.
Yeah, but that's just Karens for you, isn't it?
That is just piece of shit of guys.
It's
Sorry.
Karens. It's just a bunch of Karens.
Yes.
This is how
And
it
then
should be.
yeah,
Yeah.
I make the interview here with Colorado, and I want to stop with this because that is your interview. But I speak with him, and I speak in the back with him, and he said, "Nelson, sometimes I like listen what the people write, and I say, come on, guys, what I do to you for you to speak for me like this. I have a fantastic wife who support me. I have 2 kids who support me. I have my friends, and yet comes the community who normally have to support me, and they want to put me in the garbage. And I think that is stupid. And okay, let's leave it. Continue with involve. Involve, you can say everything. That's the same. Involve
Evolve.
the guys, they make it everything for us.
Oh, the person I want to give a massive, massive shout out to Andy Smith. You know, I want to give a
Yes.
huge shout out to that man because when I went to Evolve, I okay, the first skateboard I bought was Evolve, right? So then I
Uh-huh.
had a couple. I didn't have major issues with them, but I had contact issues, and I wasn't somebody who's very good with a computer. I did it, so I
Mm-hmm.
just would phone him, and he would tell me, he would contact me immediately. So what Jeff did, which was great for Evolve, was he got a group of people who were
Mm-hmm.
passionate about e-boards. They put them in place, and they responded exactly as you would want anyone to respond. So they would contact you, they would fix your board. It was just a personal service. So it became like buying a car, and I worked in the motor trade.
Yeah.
So it was like buying a car and having the ability to have a decent service unit, right?
Yeah.
So whereas when I bought the first board, there was loads of people making boards, right? But I didn't even know about this. But I couldn't fix a board, so I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea I could ride it, but I couldn't fix it. So the most important thing to me was customer service. And Andy Smith was phenomenal. He gave me, he phoned you back, he got your board checked out, he would do whatever you needed done. And I've heard he's doing really well just now after recovering. So a big shout out to Andy. Glad to
And
hear
he's a
you're doing
fantastic.
well, mate.
Yeah.
So big love to you, mate.
Yes, that's what I say. I just want to say to everybody's coming, Dave, the team, Tom, Matt, everybody's coming. Thank you for coming to support. We need to support our riders. And hello to Australia. Good morning, guys. They are waking up now. We are going to bed very soon. So I just want to say like this, my friend.
Yeah.
The community is very important. You are one of the guys who has this privilege to meet so many good guys and so fantastic riders like this event. That was the start. I think I always tell. I think this event was the bomb for this sport. I think before
Yeah.
was like, the water is just in the beginning. It's just, and then
A
you make
watershed. It was a watershed moment, and
yes.
I think one of the great things was you had William from France.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to William out there in France. He runs Evolve in France, and what a phenomenal guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they sort of coordinated, and I don't know how Oliver became involved, but he became involved, and the place was just, you had to want to find it. You had
Mm-hmm.
to have to go there. It wasn't like you sat down and went, let's go to somebody had to find it. And Oliver Lafranc, who, big shout
Mm-hmm.
out to Oliver was instrumental in moving that whole thing forward. I arrived about a day early, and I was fortunate enough to meet Oliver, and he was so excited. And at that time, I'm going through a tough time, and I sort of needed to meet people with a positive vibe because I was going through
Mm-hmm.
a divorce, this, that, and the next. It didn't really matter what I was going through. But then I arrive, and this guy just comes out running, 100% going, "Hi, how you doing?" And he was the most excited man I'd ever met. I thought, I'm going to love this. And Oliver and all of those people, I do. I love the community now. Now that I see
Here
it
you
all.
see the community all together.
Yeah.
Here you
Samuel went down there.
and Samo is a fantastic rider.
He's okay. He's okay. I've seen better.
Michael is a fantastic rider too.
I've seen better. Michael the Swan will Michael the Swan's your man for the old boys. Michael the Swan. She's Oliver's good lady. Joe Dubai there, man. Joe Dubai, phenomenal.
Yeah, is going to come next month again here.
Well, I have to give a big shout out to Joe and apologise to him. I was going through a bad time. I gave him a hard time. So big shout out to Joe. Lovely man. Lucky man.
Yeah.
And a massive... When I met Joe, he'd broken his leg probably about 6 or 7 months before that, right? And
with the accident.
And then he did the GoFundMe and he came out there. He is a huge, huge ambassador for this sport. Great person to know as well.
And you see here, tell us to all of us, the people who was not there, what was the sensation for you when you see this event with so many guys in first of all in a small village?
Well, how to describe it? It's like you suddenly get. Well, you know everybody how passionate we all are about it, okay? So what happens is you suddenly get, I can't remember how many people were there, but
yeah, it was around. I think everybody together was around 100 persons.
Okay, so you've got 100 people who suddenly arrive in a very small, quaint, and I mean gorgeous village in the middle of France, and you've really got to want to get there. Joe Dubai got planes, people had to make efforts. There was people came from all over. It was Michael from Paris, you everybody there. It was just, and then all the British boys who were phenomenal. But I didn't know the British boys at that time. I just went on spec. So I just arrived and everybody accepted you. It was phenomenal. And you suddenly recognize that, well, I'm not the only person that does this. You know, there's more people, and they're all as mad as I am. You know, and they all love it this much. You know, and I couldn't believe the camaraderie of it all. How did I feel? I was scared shitless at the top of it, going, I really shouldn't be doing this because I'm 50 years old. And then I said to myself, well, fuck it, you're going through a divorce, mate. you traveled this distance, let's go for it. And everybody had that attitude, but it wasn't like you wanted to beat anyone.
There you are, my friend.
Yeah, I am. You can see that I started off with probably the best safety equipment ever. I had wings, so prior to falling, I could just take off. You're
going to fly. But that's what I love with you, my friend. I see you in Paris in Friday in Paris when we go to the ride, and how you was dressed and everything, and the people was not prepared for that, and today is normal. But I think that is so fantastic to see guys like you who come and say, I just want to have fun. I just want to enjoy myself.
The thing that I enjoyed about it most, Nelson, was William said to me, he said, look, we're all going to dress up as ladies. I said, what? He says, we have to dress up as ladies. And I said, no, we're not. He went, no, we're going to do it. I went, okay, then let's go. So I ended up, that was it there. So I ended up, we ended up getting dressed up. Yeah, just like that. So it's always fun, you know. You've got
that is the magic.
Part of it is just taking part. William is a fantastic ambassador for his brand. He's really he owns the Evolve brand. He's done really well, and he sponsors people, looks after people, and they create the whole. Well, we went into Paris and we had pizza that evening in the middle of 200 riders going to have pizza.
Yeah.
And beers laid on for you. The experience of going to another country meeting people from all over the world, all wanting to do the same thing: skate, eat pizza, drink beer, and then run around the place. Yeah, well, there you go. That was us coming back from Paris, I think, that one.
Yeah, my friend, and that is fantastic. You're seeing here how many good riders you have here, how many friends. I'm just going to put it here, some pictures for everybody to see. And I think the important thing is not who's going to win. The important thing is how much fun do you have.
Well, there is that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm as competitive as the next man. I've dislocated my shoulder twice. I've had to have an operation on my shoulder. I've had to have reconstruction on my shoulder. I love the sport, you know. I mean, but coming on to being 54 now, having to have reconstruction work done on your shoulder, the competitiveness has left me for sense probably. But the journey that I'm having through the north of Scotland and traveling through Scotland is just, it's a different kettle of fish, you know. I
And
mean,
I think,
taking the camper van and traveling through Scotland and actually traveling through and being maybe 10 miles outside a town, parking the van up, and then just traveling 10 miles into that town. I went round Skye on my board. I saw Highland. It was phenomenal. It's a phenomenal experience. In fact, next year I've got my camper van. I'm going to have the company set up, and anyone who wants to rent a camper van and rent skateboards can come over and rent them. There's a charger in the van, and the whole van's set up just for anyone who wants to come to Scotland and rent it out, so that you don't have the problems going through customs. So it's there for people to come and use. That's what I'm going to be doing it with, you know.
this involved was your involved with the four wheels.
Which one's that, Nelson?
This one, this involved that you see here in the
No, no,
pictures.
that was who did that one? I can't remember who did that one.
I don't.
Oliver, I'm sure, because that's Oliver there.
Yeah, because if you
Oliver is second from the right. Okay, I'm
yeah,
almost sure he had involvement in that one. I don't know, but that was a funny board.
yeah, can that move? Can he good
Oh,
move with
you
this?
think of the Cali boards now, right? What size are
Yeah,
the wheels on the Cali board?
yeah,
Okay, so Calis are now producing the wheels really wide. That's the precursor for it, isn't it?
yeah. I know.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I still don't ride fat wheels. I haven't tried them. I look at Etox and I look at all those things, and I think
Uh-huh.
I don't know how much better it can be.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to experience it before I reckon that 500 or 600 quid's getting spent on it. You know.
I just want to say hello to John. He's in LA. He's not here with us. He's traveling a little and having a good time. Enjoy yourself, my friend. I know that is very soon in LA. Come back to uns, make nice videos for all of us. And when you come back, maybe we have to talk. You have to come here and tell us your experience in USA. You are traveling all over the USA with your mountain board. So let's see. Tom has a questions. Why did you choose Kelly over other brands? We're going to come to this subject. I just want to say something for you before we go to the Kelly boards. First of all, this picture, what you have in the back, I think that is one of the best pictures of all the event. This
Phenomenal,
picture, yes,
phenomenal.
this picture, I think that was I put this way. You have to tell me if I'm wrong or not. There's two places that we're never going to forget. That was the first event from Involve in France, and then we have to then we have to go to the second one. Is the It's Electric again in France, in a small village again, and in a school, and you seeing so many people there from so many countries. You see guys from Australia there, guys from USA there, you see guys from UK, Grandpa was there, Kelly was there, Jay Boston was there, the A Nation Raptor was there, the best riders in the moment, most of them was there. Uh, Guys from around Europe has come there to the event, and I think that is for us to put everything. Then was organized for two guys from France, was organized from the car from UK. You
Big
see
shout
two
out to
countries.
Ricardo. Big shout out to Ricardo because that was the
Yes,
first time. And big shout and yourself, and just for everything because I had never met Ricardo at that point, and since then I've skated with him in Glasgow. So
yeah, yeah,
and the guys from Carve UK. So massive shout out to those guys.
yeah. That's why. And you see two countries working together to organize an
Yeah.
event that was epic. I think you're never going to see so many people together in the same event from some different countries, and that's why I have the pleasure with you to be in Paris. I was not the pleasure to have in France, but I know you was there. For you, do you think was other event that you say that was so big like this too?
Well, Paris was Williams' baby, and it was phenomenal. And they organized. I mean, the Parisian skate scene is fantastic itself. If you take a look at some of the best skateboarders, a lot of guys come from France. They are phenomenal. Samuel, is there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys really, really good. And it was just such a beautiful event when you got the Arc de Triomphe there, you're skating through. And that was the first time I'd really skated through a city
Mm-hmm.
and really enjoyed it. And when you were skating, you had such an access to that place. It was phenomenal down the Seine, and there must have been 200 people there. No,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yes.
there was at least 200 people there. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
it
got,
was I think was close to 200, 250. But
yeah.
my friend, you have to think everybody was a good rider.
Oh,
Lots of good riders there. And the only guys was from Kelly. There was Luis. Luis, I think, is the only guy was there from Luis
no,
from UK.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes, yes.
Lewis, and he was a guy that bugger cost me a fucking fortune, right? Cost me a fucking fortune, right? So we get to the day and we're at the event, and I'm sitting I'm looking at it, I'm going, and I'd spoken to Lewis online and said to him, look, what about this board? But it looks fucking huge, mate. Like, no, come and ride it. I'll meet you in Paris. And as everyone reckons, how you all go. And this is pre-COVID, obviously, which is a nightmare. So when we ended up going out there, Lewis said to me, and he had the big XL50, and he says, right, go and have a go on that. So remember, I'm riding about a Carbon GT, right? Which is like featherweight. It means nothing. And I went over to pick up the GT, and Lewis is like this. He's a big boy. The man works out. He runs a gym, right?
Yeah.
So he's got his gym. He's got his whole place going on there. And I turned around to him and said, right, I'll give us a go. And I went to pick the fucking thing up. And I swear to God, when I put my hand down and pulled it up, I couldn't pick it up. And I took one look at him. I went, no, fuck that, mate. I can't ride that. There's no way on God's earth I can ride that. So Lewis says to me, she's, no. She's no. So I picked it up and I tried. No, I went, Lewis, honestly, way too heavy. I can't handle it because I'm so used to the Evolve. And you there, yeah?
Yes, I'm here, my friend. I'm listening to you. I'm just listening.
I was getting lost in the video. So I end up saying, no, that's too heavy for me. She said, no. Here, try this one. Try the 20. And I went, right, okay. So we're in the middle of this beautiful little place. You couldn't, it didn't matter what you were selling at that point. You could not fail to sell at this board, right? Because he said, go and try that. So Ernesto was there, but Ernesto didn't know I was taking the board. He didn't mind that I was taking the board. So I jumped on the board and I drove up the road and I got to the end of the road and I had the biggest smile on my face. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. I can't believe how quickly that pushed me off. I recognized immediately it was a different ride. And then I took it back and I went over to Ernesto and I said, right, okay, I want one. That's it. I'll have it. I'll have that. I'd been looking at the Lacroix and I went, no, I'll take that. So immediately at that point, I ordered the 2.0 because I wanted to use it to compete in the British one down south.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have competed on it. It wasn't, the Cali wouldn't have worked in those circumstances. You would need an Evolve because I couldn't have turned it because it's a different riding experience. They are so different. So that was my experience of Paris. It was just phenomenal. And it cost me a fortune, and Lewis was the biggest problem to that.
But for you, my friend, changing for Involve to a Kelly, the first time you came with the contact with the Kelly, uh, was that you try before like a tramp or something like that, or you go directly to the Kelly board? Why do you why is for you today Kelly your number one?
Okay, well, how?
For everybody to understand, I know
Okay,
that you are a
well,
big
well,
fan.
you have to understand what it is. Every rider has to understand what it is they want to do, right? If I speak
Yes.
to Antoine in
Hmm.
France, he's a massive, massive evolved man, and he loves it, and I get it, and it's no problem. And he's into that ride. When I stood on to the Cali, it
Hmm.
was now the thing I don't understand about Antoine is that he's a massive snowboarder, and I'm
Yes.
not a snowboarder. I'm a skier. So, but I get the ride from the Cali. So the only way I can describe it to you is why did I go for the Cali? Well, at that time, I'd gone from the Carbon Gen 1 to a GT.
Hmm.
And the GT was launched when we were at Côte de Bron. And I rode up with Travis that night. So for the first time, I'd gone from a one motor skateboard to a two motor skateboard,
This
right?
is Ernesto.
Right? No. This is when I'm down in Côte de Bron. So I'd experienced that,
Hmm.
and then when I'd experienced the differential, right? Because when you're on the Gen 1, if you were going up a serious hill, you had to pull it up the hill, okay? But when you got onto the Carbon GT, there wasn't a hill you couldn't hit and you couldn't do, right? So there was
Yeah.
no problem going up hills. So that for me was a game changer. So I said that to Travis at the time. I said, look, mate, this is a complete game changer. If you can make this board do that, this is now gone from fun. And this is what I said to him. I said, this has become a mode of transport, right? Because the Gen 1 Carbon was a fun board, but not really a mode of transport. The GT became a mode of transport.
Hmm.
And the differential between the two was huge.
Hmm.
But then when I rode the GT, then no disrespect, but when I went from GT, I never went to GTR and I didn't go to anything else. I didn't
Hmm.
evolve beyond that. There you go. I didn't evolve beyond that. How do you like that? So I didn't go beyond that, right? Or I didn't evolve beyond that because I couldn't see the differential being worth the money. You know, I sort of said, I understood what Jeff and they'd done. I thought the board was great. I thought there was nothing wrong with it. You know, everybody knows there's occasional issues with any board, but they solved their problems quickly.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see why I would want to change from a GT to a GTR. I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But when Lewis said to me, look, go and take that down the road, and I couldn't lift the first one up, and I went, nah, this is not for me. I'd made my decision at that point that it was a pile of shit. So when he gave me the 2.0 and I went down the street and I got to the end of the road and I went, oh my God, it's 35 miles an hour. This thing's a beast. At that point, I recognized that was it. It was a different kettle of fish because it had gone from, that was the difference I needed from the GT to something else. That made the spending of the money worthwhile. going from a GT to a GTR wasn't worthwhile for me. Going from a GT to a Cali made a difference, because now all of a sudden I've got 25 miles under my board. I can go up any hill I want, and it travels like a mode of transport. Not, and I don't mean that. Look, that Evolve is a toy, because it's not a toy in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But it's a skateboard, and I would feel more comfortable doing 25, 30 miles on a Cali than I would on a Evolve GT or GTR. And that's no disrespect to either of them. Both are fantastic. I've changed my riding style to
That's the problem, my friend. The problem that people don't understand is, if you want to carve, the Evolve is there.
Yeah.
If you want to go to another step, another type of riding, you go to Kelly, or you go to Lacroix, or you go to let's put it here in Europe, or you go to Apex, or you go to let's put it Flow Motion too is out there. You have more options, but it's not talking bad about Evolve. If you see, we're going to put something here again. I know that you was there riding, and I want to show to the world that was again organized by Involve.
Oh, Tim! Oh, nice to see Tim.
Tim is here, and you see here
that man can ride a board.
Yeah, my friend, this guy is amazing.
Can ride a board.
Yeah, he can ride it, and
that's the best I've seen. Best I've seen.
This guy is amazing.
Beautiful man, nice man too,
and fantastic here, my friend. His heart is amazing. As a person,
I love his bike that he takes around with his tunes. He's got his tunes. I love that.
And the other thing, what I love in him, he can ride. He can change from one board to another, and he can ride it very well. You don't have no problems.
I can ride, and I'm confident, and so on, and I can see people who can ride. But you've got people like him, Samo.
Yeah.
You've got. I don't know what the young guy's name is from Australia, because his name forgets me. But there are ones and twos that just, it's almost as if it's an extension of their feet, you know.
Okay, for you, my friend, when you came to this event, in this event was a big surprise. I was to come to this event, and then I was not able. But in this event was a big surprise that Evolve came with 4 motors.
Well,
do you try it?
Yes, I tried it, and as I sit here today, I don't understand the 4x4 motor for me, or any board, right? And unless you're seriously off road. I mean, I can understand the Trampa boys if they manage to get it, because I get being that far off road, needing that kind of torque. I haven't found the necessity for it, you know. And if it's going to ride my battery out quicker, I'd prefer to get another 8 miles. I don't need. I don't know what I get out of it, right? How much quicker to 60 do I get? Well, I don't really know. Well, I don't mean 60, but how much quicker do I get acceleration wise? I don't really know, you know. But what I do know is my range is depleted dramatically. So you're going to have to do an Audi Vorsprung door technique and tell me why it is I want to have one of those, because at that event, it would have made no difference whatsoever, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think too. I just want to say, we are talking here, Evolve as win here in this contest against, that was like, for lots of people, they was talking about this is the battle against Evolve against Trampa. I don't see like that. I see that was a.
If you wanted to look, the Evolve came in there with a 4. Well done. You know, that's innovation. You're coming to an event, and let me tell you something. If you own a company and you're running an event and you turn around and make that open to everybody, I'd have produced a 4x4, right? but you don't see a 4x4 in the range, so it's not selling, right? And and it didn't make a huge amount of difference as far as I was concerned, and it decreased your range. So fair play to them for to bringing it to the marketplace. It's
Mhm.
innovative, but is there anybody out there other than really the Trampa boys who are going to go and go up hills like that really need 4x4? I'm not a fan of it, so
Yeah.
it didn't work for me.
Yeah, if that's why, my friend. I was like, if is a board that they're going to sell it, I was okay. Nice, they want to sell it, but that was just for the event, nothing else.
They brought it to compete with somebody, right?
Yes, and
Which
they
I
and
don't
they
think is
and
wrong.
they trained a lot, huh? Before they
Well,
trained it a
look,
lot, huh?
look. If listen, right? If I own a company, right? If I own a company and I'm selling skateboards, you have to firstly appreciate what these two guys did, right?
Hmm.
They got people sending videos in of themselves on their boards. Ergo, my marketing is next to nothing, right? So, and they created a group of people. They created events. They
Hmm.
created all of those things. Now, you tell me anyone else who did that. Nobody did that.
Nobody.
I traveled from Scotland to the south of France
No, my friend.
because of Evolve. So,
Yes.
as much as you want to knock them or do whatever it is you want to do,
No, you
that
cannot knock
company,
him. You cannot
you
knock
know,
him because they are the only one who make something. They
um,
always make kart events. They always make events. They make everything for all of us. You cannot criticize. They are the only ones who make something for all of us.
there
So
it is. There it is. There. That was us going. That was the Evolve Gen Ones in there in the camper van heading out.
I'm buying. I'm going to buy I'm going to buy a multivan this month.
So I mean, you have to respect Evolve, whoever you are, right? Because they grew a brand and they made it interesting and it went online. So plus the other thing that they did for me was they had a customer service thing which I couldn't work with. You know, I
Hmm.
couldn't fix a skateboard, and they created a whole feeling about the board, and I respect Jeff immensely for what he's done. You know, I don't. His boards are phenomenal. When I went to try, I attempted to do Land's End to John O'Groats and got stopped by the police on the way down. There's Michael. When I attempted to
Michael
do
is the
that,
best,
Jeff
my
Jeff
friend.
sponsored me, so he gave me boards, he gave me help, he put money towards it. So he's interested in anyone that wants to do something interesting in the sport. So big up to Jeff and Evolve Skateboards. I've got a massive respect for them.
And of course, now we are going to come to the point. Now you're going to have maybe a new baby. Do you think you're going to?
I'm thinking, Ernesto's sitting out there just now going, he's a monster.
But Ernesto is a great guy, my friend.
He's a beautiful, beautiful man. He contacts me, lets me know. There it is. Look at that.
Yes, my friend.
You know what I mean? What can you say
Everybody,
about that? That
everybody can
is
say
just.
that is
I mean,
just it.
I don't know if you're allowed this on and people are allowed to, but that's pornographic. That thing there.
Yeah, my friend. If you buy it, you're not going to regret. I
I
think that.
don't think so, but I'm looking at the investment. You're sitting
Yes,
there at
I know that, my friend. I know.
$6,500, right?
Yes.
Then you've got to get, and then basically all it's going to do is get me one step closer to death. I'm going to be enjoying it, but my God, it's going to be fun.
That is a beautiful machine. That is.
That is
Uh,
your baby, isn't it?
I think there is more persons are interested to buy it. I know there is lots of persons are selling the lacrosse just to buy this machine
Yeah.
because the guys in USA, they are testing this machine and they are loving to ride it.
Well,
And
no, I see them all. I watch the guys out. The uphill racing out in California just now is phenomenal. I'm loving watching that. These guys, and I wish if I hadn't had such a checkered past, I would be allowed back into America. Because of my checkered past.
yeah, you can ask to John. John is there riding all the time, and he's in California. He's enjoying a lot.
I'd love to go and race those boys. That would be fun because the guy that really got me, and I think if you're a 54-year-old guy like me,
Mm-hmm.
I watched all the guys doing the downhill and sliding around the
Yeah.
corners. And I'm watching those boys thinking, oh, that's as close as I can get at 54 years old to sliding down those things and doing 70, 80 miles an hour going down the hill. So I quite fancy racing the boys uphill. I would do it as long as I don't have to slow myself down around the bend. I'd have a crack at 70 miles an hour uphill. I'll go for that. I'll have a go. Yeah, I'm game.
My friend, I'm close now to the 50 like you, my friend. And believe it or not, I love to do. And every time today I was out riding again.
Yeah.
There is no age, my friend. It's just
How's
having
your
fun.
weather?
Wet and
Right.
wet, not nast, and but I don't care. I go for a ride when I have today was not raining, and I say, okay, I go for a small ride. You have to be careful, but
Well, here's one of the things that I don't think very many people know. Right? Get this.
mhm,
I live in a small place in the east end of Glasgow, right? And it's a nice place, quite close to Celtic Park, okay? But it's quite cheap to live here. It's not expensive, okay? It's not an expensive place to live. The west end of Glasgow is maybe 6 miles from here, okay? Now, the flat that I live in right here would cost 3 times as much 6 miles away, okay? So you're talking going from 100 to 300 grand in a drop of a hat just by spending. And this is how I'm trying to justify it, by the way. So just by spending my $6,350, right? I can stay here and have a beautiful travel over there in the Rolls Royce of skateboards. But that's the enjoyment, right? I can travel from here to the west end of Glasgow, and I don't spend 300 grand. I'm having a beautiful morning. I'm getting coffee in the west end of Glasgow, sitting in the top of a park, having my sandwiches. And why? Because I've got a skateboard and I can do it in no more than 10 minutes. You couldn't do that distance in a taxi, and that's quick. The public transport couldn't do it, and you wouldn't make as many people smile, because the amount of people that wave at me when I travel through the town is phenomenal. So it's a plus, you know. So the investment for that XLR is getting closer and closer. You're not fancy one yourself?
Yeah. I'm just going to put here something for everybody to see. I think that's from the last person who was here in the interview, and for everybody to see this magnificent board from Ernesto. And I think that is a machine, my friend.
Yeah.
That is, the lights is perfect there in the back.
Yeah.
The motors are very big. I think
notice how the concave in the middle is going to give you the ability to have your foot to rock on that. That's the big
yes. That was the guy who was here. The lights. The guy said the lights is fantastic.
Yeah.
They are very very compact. And the guy who was here is telling Nelson, you cannot compare with my last Kelly. The last Kelly was good, but if you see these wheels, how
Look
big
at
they
the
are.
wheels on that.
Don't forget that these wheels, that is from a scooter, my friend.
Yeah.
That is very big.
Mean, I rode his board, right?
Yeah.
For
look at this.
I had one issue with that board in over a year, and it was like next to nothing. Nothing.
Yeah. If you look here, the wheel, look at the wheel, the form of the wheel is different. How we create it is different.
Yeah.
That is he make a good job here. That is a fantastic job.
Okay, so don't get me wrong. I'm a big Cali guy, right? And I love it. And I'm like, wow, 6 and a bit grand. It's a big investment.
I know
So,
that. I know
but
that.
I think, to be honest, when you look at it, that's just light years ahead of. I mean, I don't know what's competing with it. You know, it's a different.
How can cost it to you everything inclusive for you to get this Kelly when you buy it?
Well, I mean, I've been sitting, waiting, and watching. I'll talk to Ernesto. I've been desperate. I wanted to represent Ernesto for Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to go and take them out roundabout and take them round, but COVID is a nightmare.
Look at these wheels, my friend.
Oh, is that how much bigger that is? My God, I didn't know that was so much bigger. That's big.
Of course, it's bigger. That is the wheel from a e-scooter.
Wow. I'm kind of shocked at that. I didn't realize how much bigger it was in the
Yeah,
stand.
that's why I'm going to leave the videos here, guys. And I have the interview with this guy. You can see how big. Now he's going to change it, the position. Then you're going to see how big is one and the other one. He's going to.
You can imagine you can travel a lot faster on that.
Look now. Look now.
Oh my God.
And now he's going to put the other wheel. Look, wait a second. Wait a second. When you put the two together,
Jesus.
that is
huge.
Look.
I know. That's what I'm riding on. I've got wheel envy now. I've got wheel envy.
Yeah, the guy who was riding was here in an interview. He said, Nelson, I can tell you the way of riding is another level. You feel
Nelson,
so more safe.
Did he go from a Cali? Was he already on a Cali too?
Yeah, it was with the same like you.
Right.
And he goes to this one and he said, Nelson, that is a game change.
Yeah.
When I'm riding with these big wheels, I feel so safe and so comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody was expecting for us to ride, because this is a board for you to ride lots of miles. It's not a board just for you to go. This is a 80S 8P.
Yeah.
And that is a very, very big battery.
Yeah.
And of course with big motors too.
Oh.
And the deck is the deck is fantastic for you to put your feet, because you have these caves to the sides. It's
plus
like
the trucks are self-leveling.
Yes. And
so
then
I mean, I mean, I don't know what more you would want from a board, right? I mean, if you take a look at something, that's not a skateboard anymore. I mean, you can't sit and look at that and say that's a skateboard.
You cannot compare it. It's like the lacrosse. You cannot compare it anymore with the skateboard. That is more.
That's the biggest thing for me was the change. Which, if you look up the top there, the skateboard, which is the Evolve, is fantastic, great fun, no problems at all. But if I was going to go out for a 35-mile ride, I wouldn't want to be in an Evolve.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And I would prefer to go and do a 35-mile ride. And that's what I enjoy doing more, because I'm traveling through towns and up through Scotland and going away in the camper and so on. But that thing there, what's that going to be? What, 80 miles? Is that what that's doing, Nelson?
Yeah, close to.
I mean, if you're doing 80, Jesus Christ, could you imagine
you're not the last time I make 55 miles, and my friend, I stopped and I said, that is crazy. I'm never going to do it again. 50 miles, close to 60 miles in hours riding. I said, that is crazy. It comes a moment that you say that is enough.
Well, Ewan, who's a lovely guy. Big shout out to Ewan. And myself, when we went to Land's End and came down, but we got stopped at Inverness. And So we were doing it in the camper van, trying to do, but we weren't organised enough. It wasn't. I hadn't organised it well enough. Next year will be better.
Mm-hmm.
When the XLR comes. So we hadn't organised it well enough, and so, but you could tell after maybe doing, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 miles in a day, your legs were knackered. You were tired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And we are not, and you and me, we are not 20 years older anymore, my friend.
Yourself, young man.
No, okay. Here we are 20, but
Yeah, we both have gout.
that is the problem.
Uh,
So, my friend,
yeah.
leaving Kelly to the side and involve,
Yeah.
uh, what you think about the future of this sport for you, my friend? What you see and what is the direction we are going to go? What you think
Well,
for you?
that's such a tough question, Nelson. I mean, let's be honest. If you'd asked me that when I built my camper van, right, I had decided at that point, once I'd found what I saw and we met together, I went, well,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm going to go and do. I'm going to go and compete in these things. This is going to be fun because I got to a place in my life where I found a group of people that were great fun. It was a sport that I enjoyed. People were cool, relaxed. People were smoking dope, having beers, eating
Yeah.
kebabs, doing whatever they wanted to do, and just chilling. And everyone had the passion. The competitiveness wasn't really there. But it was. So if you asked me then, well, that's what I would be doing. I would be taking my camper van, going around Europe and trying to compete and just have
Yeah.
fun. But we've got COVID. So within that period, straight after we did Paris, the year after, I'm ready to go and everything like that. And boom, COVID comes on. So then it's
Block
difficult.
everybody.
It fucked everybody, and and big up to everybody who's struggling out there just now. And I think the greatest thing for e-boarding, really, for me with my mental health, is when I look out the window and I see it's dry. I know that I'm going to go out and spend 20 minutes, half an hour, an hour. My mind's going to be clear. It's difficult to say. Competing wise, I don't think we're going to really compete. Do you really see people coming from Australia? Do you really see people coming from all these places? It's difficult,
It's difficult.
Joe Dubai is going to fly from California to come here to self isolate. No, so it's difficult to say. I think we'll have a European. I think it will have to happen in Europe because we've got to just get on and get things done. I think Britain and Europe. I think there's a Carve UK have done really, really well. I watched the guys up and down United Kingdom going for their rides. You
Mm-hmm.
see the evolved people all going and doing the karting runs. So it's becoming smaller. It's people aren't traveling from as far because I've got to be honest, I love it. But would I want to go and risk being somewhere to compete with you? Not
Yeah.
really. Not really.
And,
I'm not.
and the difference, what I think you're telling everything, my friend. I think that the difference is like this. The problem is there's lots of groups yet in Facebook and everything, and
Yeah.
one group is from Paris, one group is from London, one group is from Liverpool, and then the people say, oh, I have an event in Liverpool and now I have an event in London, in the same day or in the same weekend. Nah, then I'm going to stay here.
But no, not everybody does that. If you look at Thomas Kilminster down in
Yeah,
England, right? Thomas just jumped in his car and he went around and he started to meet people. And he met the Northern Monkeys and he travelled up and he skated up
yeah.
in Blackpool. So big up to the Northern Monkeys and big up to Thomas. People are willing to travel and have fun and do it, right? But it's are you willing to travel internationally now?
Me, yes.
I mean, I think me, I'll do it. Don't get me wrong. I've got my van. I almost. I'll tell you what happened. It was 2 weeks ago. I was about to go and meet Pierre Vidou in Amsterdam. He sent me a text. He said, "Look, we're going to Amsterdam." I said, "Right, okay, I'm going. That's it. I'm going. So I went and got the flight, and the flight was £23 there, £26 on the way back. Right, so I was £50 to get to Amsterdam. all the marijuana you can smoke for 2 or 3 days, right? And a hotel room. So I sent to Pierre, I said, right, Pierre, forget it, 50 quid, I'm going to come, right? So this is what you've got to look at. So then I book it 2 weeks in advance. Michael, the Swan, sends me an email saying, look, for God's sake, don't book it. We're about to have a vote on whether we go into lockdown or not. I said, I've already booked it. The next day, they go, we're on lockdown, right? So not only is there a lockdown the next day, the day before I go, I'm sending Pierre saying, right, Pierre, 7 till 7, I'm coming out. It's no problem. I'll come out. I'm definitely coming. I'm coming. They change it to 5 to 5. And then I thought, Christ, I'm going to be sitting in a room from 5 o'clock till 5 o'clock. It's a nightmare. So I had to cancel my whole thing. So I lost my hotel, right? My hotel booking was lost. I lost my flights. I lost that. So that was, what, 300-400 quid just gone like that. So
Yeah.
how can people now start to say, and that was just a short weekend away to go and do something.
Mhm.
How can you say, right? I mean, if all the guys went out to California, they had a great time and Evolve, would they be willing to do it next year? I don't think so. That's a massive ask. It's a massive ask just now. But I'm ready to come out to Germany, and I'm
But
ready.
don't forget, this year maybe if this COVID is not involved, is going to make the World Cup in Germany this year, the 2022. Normally it was to be last. Normally it was to be in 2020. Then because of the COVID, it was cancelled. Then it was to be in 2021. Was cancelled again, and now it's for 2022 in Germany.
Yeah.
I hope if that.
Well,
I
if
think.
it's in Germany, I'm looking forward because I know it's Sebastian. I'm looking forward to coming out and meet Sebastian and Oliver Ott. So
Yeah, but you're going to meet
meet
all of
those two
us.
guys.
I think the important thing is, first of all, we're going to see how it's going to happen with this COVID. I hope
Yeah.
that is everything good for everybody in the beginning of the year, that everybody is taking care and that we can travel again. And I hope next year is going. I think next year is going to be a fantastic year for
Big
our
year.
communities.
Yeah,
For
I
our
think so.
communities, before we go to the end because we are close to 1 hour and 20 minutes. I want to ask you, like always, uh, I want to ask you, we are putting something here. I'm going to change it. We are putting something here on the back that is stickers, and the stickers is from our brands, electro brands. And I want to ask you, what sticker do you like to have there?
Nelson, I will take you. You choose one for me, please. Whichever one, I would be happy with it. Thank you. Because I'm 54 years old. I'm looking down this at the moment. I can't see any of those bloody
No,
things.
no. I'm going to show you, my friend. Give me a second.
No,
I'm going to show.
any one of them is fine, Nelson. I would
No,
love one.
I'm going to show you because I have here, and I'm going to put it, and you're going to choose it.
Okay, my friend. Thank
Because
you.
here you have the first one. You have lots of them,
Yeah.
and I have here. Here you have the Involve Riders World Cup, Involve Riders California World Cup.
I like the Evolve Riders World Cup one. I don't have that one. I missed that one. And I would like that one, Nelson, please.
The Involve what?
World Cup California one.
Okay, let me see what I have. It. Here you are. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to put it here. There you are. That is the one.
You're a gentleman. Thank you for that. Thank you so
everybody
much.
is coming here. You have to you choose one, and we're going to put it there, just for us. I have lots of stickers here that I put together, and we're going to put it like. I was not going to ask you the Kelly boards because the Kelly boards was last week. Then the Kelly boards.
I big up Evolve. I ride Cali, but I big up Evolve. If it wasn't for Evolve, I wouldn't be in this game.
That was very good. I just want to say, first of all, for everybody who came and for everybody who's going to come see later this interview, this guy uh, is I'm telling from my heart, because sometimes I open my Facebook, and the first time of the first thing I see is having a comment, a funny comment, and we having, sometimes the people don't understand this black humor, uh, and sometimes the people are upset. I understand him very well, and I think he's a fantastic person to always be around us, sharing his opinion and giving us a uh, how can I put this? Uh, don't forgetting the community. Not just most of the guys just want to go for a ride and forget to say hello, how are you, and that's what is bad in one community. We have to stick together. Sometimes we have to say, how are you, my friend? Are you alive? Are you okay? Do you need something? And you are a person that every time you go to event, you go to enjoy yourself.
100%.
You have lots of fun, and we see here some of your pictures, uh, and that's what we need in communities. The people don't look to the right or to the left, just enjoy it and have lots of fun. And if you have the chance to do something crazy, just do it. Don't think nobody's going to criticize you. Maybe the people is going to remember you for a long time, long time. And with you, in Paris was a very special time with you. I
Yes,
think
fantastic.
you bring lots of fun in there for everybody. You travel so many miles with your car to go to event far away from you, and you was one of the first ones there, and that is not easy to find today. And I was very, very proud to have you here today, because
Thank you.
you are not just community rider. You are what we need in this community, guys like you.
Well,
I
thank you
think
so much. I appreciate it.
I tell from my heart, I do this for lots of persons don't understand why I open this channel, is because I think the people forget about the riders, forget about the community, and that's why I tell every day to everybody, if you have a YouTube channel, go there, open, bring your friends. You don't have to be nobody important. We are everybody's important. Bring everybody to your channel, your friends, maybe the guys you ride it. Make a nice interview. The guys who are going to see your channel, they're going to come and say next time, oh, this guy here is from China. Oh, maybe next time when I come to China, I'm going to see you, and I know you a little better because I see your interview and I know a little more about you. That's why I start this. Today, I make close to 210 interviews
Well
in
done. Well done.
and maybe around 250 riders with ladies and everything. And I support the ladies here in this channel, lady riders. And I hope that you guys who are YouTuber, I'm a cook, I'm not a YouTuber. Just don't stop, have fun, make events for us, make ride with your friends,
Let's do
enjoy
it.
it. And for you, my friend, I want to thank you so much for coming.
Thank
I
you for
I
having
hope
me.
that this COVID goes very fast away.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like Matt is telling, everything is fantastic. You are a legend, most love, and Umi, right there. I just want to say this thing for everybody to understand. Take care of your community. Don't forget, have fun, ride fast, but always safe. That's the important. I just going to make the question before we go, because safety, because I see you riding. When you ride, my friend, like in a competition, or you know that you're going to ride a little more faster, what safeties do you have? What protections do you use?
I no longer go out without gloves, elbow pads, knee pads, and a helmet. I generally wear biker trousers like jeans, so I've got
Mhm.
hip pads on as well, so I don't get hipsters. When I first started, I had none of that on. When I
Yes,
ride
but
now, I don't go out without it on.
yes, but you have to think in the beginning when we start, you cannot compare it the speed what you have today and
That's
what you
true.
have
That's
before.
true. That's true. But
When
my attitude to things, I would never ride a skateboard now without a helmet. So,
no,
and I'm not the helmet police. I'm happy for people not to do it. I don't care. You do what you want to do. If you ask me, wear a helmet.
yes, I do. I say the same, guys. I'm going to tell you something. I see so much accidents from my friends who destroy his face or his head because he was too proud to use a helm. Just use it, guys.
Just put it
It's not
on.
going. It's not going to be a problem. Maybe you're not going to be so beautiful in a picture. Don't worry. But you're going to live lots of years for us to have fun. That is the important thing.
100%.
Then
100%.
I just going to say first of all, I leave you like always with the last words for the guys who came to see you and for the people who's going to see you later. I leave you with the last words is for you, my friend.
Listen, guys, I love e-boarding. It's one of the most exhilarating things I've ever done in my life. The freedom I get and the freedom of my mind is phenomenal. We're coming up to Christmas. Everybody have a great time. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Look after yourselves. Love your family. Have a fantastic 2022. I look forward to meeting and competing with every one of you.
And destroy you guys in a race.
I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
Don't worry. That is the best thing. We are old and we can destroy the young guys, and the young
Yeah,
guys
well, we've got a
pissed.
chance.
They are pissed of us. But no, the important the important thing is just have fun and enjoy it, guys.
Yeah,
And
stay
take
safe,
care.
man. Stay safe.
Yeah. I just want to say, guys, have a good night, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. And thank you for coming and supporting. Leave your like or leave a message. And we're going to try to answer. Have a good night. See you in the next.